Welcome to the Data and IT channel. You are listening the audiobook. The book name is The 5M Club, written by Robin Sharma. Today we will exploring the chapter 15. The 5M Club is mentored on the 10 tactics of lifelong genius. If you knew how much work went into it, you would not call it genius. Michelangelo, Sao Paulo is so special, isn't it? Said the billionaire as the unmarked and economy class car navigated by a driver in short sleeves stopped and started through the thick traffic of the city of many millions. As in Mauritius, he sat in front of passenger seat. The three companions had just landed at the jet port and were heading to the boutique hotel in the center of this financial capital of Latin America. It's a big city, noted the artist, offering another building glimpse of the obvious. We so appreciate you flying us down here to Brazil for your wedding. The entrepreneur enthused. Thanks, brother, the artist added. He really wanted to ceremony to take place at your compound by the ocean, said the entrepreneur, pointing to her fiancé with a warm look. I did stated the artist agreeably. That place was paradise, and to be the honest, I did too. But I wanted to honor my father, given that he was Brazilian, the entrepreneur explained. And a happy wife means a happy life, confirmed the artist with a grin. He then quoted the word from the AA Milne Winnie the Pooh. If you live to be 100, I want to live to be 100 minus 1 day so I never have to live without you. The entrepreneur moved closer to the artist in the back of the car as it sailed past magnificent neo Gothic cathedral along great avenues with towering high rises, down a thoroughfare that showcased the impressive Teatro Municipal de Sao Paulo and across a roadway where the majestic Ivapura Park sat. What the artist said made the billionaire think of his wife. He still thought of her every day, and it wasn't the luxurious trip to exotic place that he most recalled, nor the beautiful meals at the world's best restaurants. His mind drifted to the simplest and the most apparently ordinary of moments in her company. Sharing a cheap but excellent pizza but with olive oil drizzled over it. Reading books in a silent in front of a dazzling fire. Nature walks and movies nights and trip to the grocery store, dancing in their bedroom to music that reminded them of how much they adored each other, and things like how patiently she taught him Italian, and why said short when said laughed really hard, and how utterly devoted she was to their only child. Life's finest treasures live live in its simplest moments contemplated the billionaire in those daily occurrences that most of us take for granted until we lose them. Lifting his hand too proud to display his engagement ring, the artist continued to express the depth of his love while the car rolled along. I love her hard, man. He spoke to Mr. Raleigh. She's my sunrise, my art used to be all that mattered. Didn't he much of a need for anyone around me? Guess I never knew what real love was. Can't imagine living without her now. The entrepreneur considered how blessed she was. In the period since she attended the Spellbinder event, her mindset, her set, health sets, and soul set were being reordered and upgraded radically and irrevocably. She was releasing the limiting beliefs that had been forced from her tumult- tumultuous childhood and letting go for a toxic emotions that grew out of her past traumas, as well as from the current predi- predicament with her investors. The billionaire were quite right. She was realizing to an even deeper degree we each do the best we can based on level of awareness, maturity and personal security we are at. People who hurt others really are hurting within themselves. They are behaving in the wisest way they know how to behave. If they were capable of conducting themselves with a great leadership, generosity, and humanity, they would have done so. This profound insight had sown even a stronger seeds of forgiveness within the entrepreneur. When she first heard the spellbinder at his seminar, she was cynical and resistant to a lot of his teachings. She had since pivoted considerably and was now embracing everything she had been fortunate enough to learn. Wholeheartedly, it was an inspirational evolution to see. It had been 3 weeks since the visit to Rome. In that time, the entrepreneur had been doing wind sprints for 20 minutes at a 5 a.m. each morning, along with some serious weight training. After that, at 5:20s, Seed used to tranquility of the second pocket of the contemplate quietly. Write list of things she was grateful for in her new journal and then meditate. Finally, at 5:40 a.m., she'd listen to an audiobook about a business, move Rick, or read something on the subjects of productivity, teamwork, and leadership. Said also, and this was a hard one, broken the addition to technology that had been her lifeline, as well as her escape from producing her greatest work and her divergence from the being fully present to life. During these fantastic days away from her office, she had been creating the brightest output of her career, leveraging the phenomenon of transient hyperfrontality, and billionaire had taught her to orchestrate result at a level of genius she had never experienced before, and reclaiming the sense of inner well-being she had lost. Everything she was applying was delivering enormous rewards. Everything in her life seemed to be clicking again. She was filtered than. She'd been a years happier and more Sharon than she'd ever known, and more productive. During the period she was away from the artist conducting business than she'd imagined she could be. All thanks to the 5M Club, which she understood more and more, allowed her to protect her natural talent in a commercial world of such noise, stress, and invitations to relentless interruptions. The victory hours was providing her with an insulated period at the front of at the front end of her days to build her four interior empires so she could construct outer ones. With her newfound hopefulness, confidence, and forgiveness, Seed even made excellent progress in negotiating a solutions with her investor. She was excited that shortly and the whole horrible ordeal would be behind her. And soon she'd be married. She'd always wanted someone special to share in her delights and success, and she'd always wished to balance her hunger for fortune making with her dream of having a family. The kind of the family she'd missed being part of as a girl. Just as entrepreneur was about to respond to the artist's musings on extent of his love, a gunshot rang out. The glass of the vehicle's windshield shattered, instantly looking like a spider wave. Two broad soldiers, men in sky masks with machine guns over their soldiers, violently, violently mentioned for the driver to unlock the doors. When he attempted to accelerate out of harm's way, another bullet pierced the glass, grazing the chauffeur's ears and prompting an outburst of blood. Open the door, instructed Mr. Riley, stunning calmly. I have got this, he said as he secretly pressed a red button strategically located under the glove's compartment. The doors unlocked. You could hear a click. Speaking in the staccato burst, one of the gunmen screamed everyone out of the car now, or you die. As the occupants of the car followed the orders and others, gunman grabbed the entrepreneur by the neck. We told you to leave the firm. We told you we'd kill you. We told you this was gonna happen, he said. Suddenly, a long SUV, the sort you see combat leaders in a war zone traveling in, raced up to the scene. Four more people, two men and two women in a flak jacket with pistol raised up on a sleek motorcycle. The billionaire protections team had arrived. Fighting broke out in the street, knives were pulled, and more shots were fired. The billionaire was whisked away with efficiency that was striking. He still appeared unruffled and as if he were a general leading a military mission and said simply, Save my passengers. They are my family members. A helicopter was now floating overhead. Yes, a helicopter. It had 5AC in a large orange letter on the side of it, over white paint. The magnet security escort quickly disarmed the larger of the two gunmen, the one who had threatened the entrepreneur, and removed her to the safety of the waiting SUV. But the artist, well, sadly, he was gone. I need to find him. The entrepreneur screamed at the personnel in the armored vehicles. I need to find my husband, she added, clearly in the state of acute shock over the entire scenario. Stay here, ordered one of the security agents firmly holding her by the arm. But the entrepreneur, in her newly created state of mental toughness, physical fitness, emotional resilience, and spiritual fearlessness, thanks to her new morning routine, broke free from the burly guard, kicked open the doors that had been left slightly ajar, and started to run. Like an elite athlete, she sprinted deft- deftly across the highway with the traffic speeding down four lanes. Horns blared and some passionate Brazilians shouted words in a Portuguese concerned for her welfare. But she kept running as fast as Gazelle. She ducked into a cafe, no sign of her man. Then into a restaurant next, she raced along a street renowned for its steak house. The artist was nowhere in sight. Then the entrepreneur spotted his notebook, the one in which he had made all his notes from the lesson of the spellbinder, and the billionaire. The same notebook she saw him clutching tightly when they first met, seemingly randomly in the conference hall, when she was at the darkest place of her life, and he, as an angel of sorts, made her feel safer, calmer, and happier by his loving presence. What happened next as tragic as the entrepreneur slowed down to walk and turn into a thin slice of an avenue. She saw blood, not a pool of blood, but drop and specks of fresh blood. Oh God, please no, she cried out. Frantically, she continued following the trail, pushing past series of parked cars, mothers with baby in a stroller, and a line of elegant houses. Please don't let him die. The businesswoman prayed, Please God. I am here over here. A squeaky voice rang out. The entrepreneur darted in the direction of the artist's calls. Growing closer, she spied the gunman holding her. revolver directly to the head of her fiancé. The thug had removed his sky mask. One could see that he was young and looked extremely scared. Look, declared the entrepreneur, behaving courageously and slowly walking over to the two men. Look, see, repeated, I know you don't want to hurt him. I know you don't want to spend the rest of your life in a prison cell. Just give me the gun and you can go. I won't say word of anyone about you. Just give me the gun. The gunman was frozen, speechless, and shaking. Slowly, he turned the gun away from the head of the artist and aimed it squarely at squarely at the chest of the entrepreneur. Just relax. She implored in a fierce yet empathetic voice. She continued walking towards her fiancé and the kidnappers. I'll kill you, shouted the bandit. Stay there. The entrepreneur took step by carefully steps while staring directly into the eyes of the gunman. She now had a soft smile on her face. Such was a grade of her newly earned bravery. So was the degree of her considerably enhanced confidence. After a long pause, the criminal stood up. He started the entrepreneur with what looked like a combination of mountainous respect and visceral disbelief. Then he hurried away. Baby, are you okay? The entrepreneur embraced the artist tenderly, gathering his composure through perspiring unashamedly. He replied, Born, okay, baby, born, okay. You just saved my life, you know. I know she did. She said, I don't do it because we are about to be married, you know. I didn't save you because I love you. What questioned the artist? Then why did you do what you just did? I mean, that was incredible what you just pulled off. Totally gangster. I did it because of the club. What are you talking about? Asked the artist. We wildered. I did what I did because of the powers I have developed as a member of the 5M club. That's how I was able to do what I just did. It all really works. All of it. Everything we have been taught in Mauritius, in India, in Rome, and the main reason I have saved your life isn't because you will soon be my husband. And we will have great kids and then grandkids and a bunch of dogs and cats and hopefully even canaries at our homes. She guessed, no, I saved you only because you are also in the club. And Mr. Raleigh said, we have to stick together and to have each other's backs. Are you serious? Asked the artist loudly. He wasn't pleased with what he had heard. Of course not. I'm just playing Dave, laughed the entrepreneur. And I dare you. I'd give my life for you, my day of the weeks. Now let's go find Mr. Riley. Let's make sure he's okay. The next day, after they had recovered from their dramatic experience, they met in the billionaire penthouse at the Chick Hotel. Mr. Riley looked lean, focused, and very happy. Quite the spray started cats, he stated in a way that suggested that what they'd endured was nothing more than a brisk walk through a flowered, flower-filled park. That was a brutal, the artist replied. You talk about trauma that was traumatic? You, my friends were quite the hero yesterday, declared the billionaire proudly while focusing on the entrepreneur. You young lady are miracle on two legs. Thanks, she said, shifting her feet a bit and making sure the artist was okay. I watched you roll. I saw your I saw your cool. I noticed your concentration under extreme pressure and your superhuman levels of performance. This goddess of the woman here saved my life. The artist acknowledged enthusiastically. You two love cats are just beginning to get taste of the benefits of the joining the 5M club. Just imagine you two after applying the 66 days minimum, then after 6 months of running the world class morning routine you have now discovered. Consider the way you will capitalize on your potential, optimize your performance, and be useful to your world in years. Always remember that the greatest of the leaders were all servant leaders, and let's make it all about you. And the more your obsession focus on the upliftment of others, and more you will increase your identity as a genuine empire builder and grow into a history maker. Got you? Confirmed the entrepreneur as he sipped from a water bottle, making sure she was well hydrated to stay at her energetic best. I want to reward you for the heroism you showed yesterday. The billionaire offered. I have some news that I think will make you love your life even more. Tell me, please, the entrepreneur said. Though I really don't need anything, you know. I did what I did out of love. Simple as that. Well, are you ready? The tycoon asked. Yes, ready. Well, this morning I had my people buy up all of the equity those nasty investors owned. Let's just say I made them an offer they couldn't refuse. And my legal team had then signed an agreement promising they will never go near your company again and are not permitted to come anywhere near you or the man who will your husband in a few short hours. Gnarly right, the billionaire spoke as he tap danced his way across the floor of the penthouse. Yes, he actually tap danced across the entire room. Next, he began flailing his arms manically and grooving intensely to his amazing music. Finally, get this, he started twerking. Yes, the illustrious industrialist who was worth over $1 billion was crackling in the hotel suit. He is the weirdest human being I ever met by a factor of the million, thought the entrepreneur, but truly wonderful and pretty closer to magical. The entrepreneur and the artist looked at each other and began to giggle. They then joined in as the best they could because Mr. Riley could sometimes be a bit of showman, as humble as he was. After the dancing sessions, they hugged this man who had become their magnificent mentor, exuberant encourager, and sincere friend. The entrepreneur thanked the eccentric baron profusely for his ingro- generosity in making her difficult situations to go away. This spectacular escape was taking on near mystical quality. Everything was improving, all was unfolding even better than she could have dreamed. And now she was free of very trial that had brought her to the sharpest edge of her life. In that moment, she realized that on the other side of every tragedy lies a triumph, and beyond the adversity exists a bridge into a enduring victory if one has the eyes to see it. Anyhow, said the billionaire, today's session will be a quick one, and chief of the staff is attending to every detail in your wedding as we speak. You will have a Casa Valenza Lively's. You requested the music you both suggested, and every detail will be calibrated to the world class. It's just the way my team and I roll. Oh, all your guests have been flown in on a series of my jets. Everybody here and everyone's full of details, especially me. The Titan let out another intense cough, and then two more. His arms started to tremble again as he sat on a modern looking wooden chair covered by a swatch of white leather, the kind of furniture craft people in Sweden and Denmark made. For the first time, a look in his eyes revealed hues of fear. I'll beat this monster, he whispered to himself. You're messing with the wrong dude. He pulled out his wallet, extracted a warm picture of his wife gone so long ago, collapsed it to his heart, and centered himself on the essential point of the morning discourse. Now that you know the most of what you need to know about the 5M method, I want to offer 10 tactics that will quicken your momentum in both your professional and your private lives. These are 10 gestures for daily heroism. The 2020 formula will help you use your morning brilliantly. Then 10 others routine will complement the regime so the rest of your day unfold gloriously. Lock this in and you will become undefeatable and experience a meaningful upward spiral of success where every important element of your life rises as your hour passes. As usual, a hand then went up into the air. Out of the library of the penthouse suit, spraying an assistant struggling to carry the what appeared to be a large framed art piece. The billionaire jumped up and rushed over to help his aid. On the front of white t-shirt, the young, fit, and unfairly handsome assistant were these printed words. Everyone dreams of being a legend until it comes it to do the work what legends do. This is one of my wedding gifts to you too. The billionaire pointed to the breathtaking points of Thomas Edison, the great investors over the Edison phase in an age modern art script. Where invest where the investors were, the best thinking has been done in solitude. The worst has been done in turmoil. The commissioned one of my favorite artists who lives in Berlin to do this for you. He did a lot of artwork in my Zurich's flat. He hardly painted any more. Did this as a special favor. You cats could entire if you sold it. Trust me on that one. Please flip it over, requested the billionaire politely, sitting down on the sleek chair again and surveying the expensive penthouse that overlooked the skyscrapers of Sao Paulo. Many of high rise had helipad on top of them, so the icon of the industry who operated within them could skirt around without having to waste precious hours of productivity and life setting in Sao Paulo traffic. Because as you know now, the hours most people waste epic performer exploit. On the back of the immaculately framed artwork was a chart with this title on it: The 10 Tactic of Lifelong Genius. The billionaire continued talking. Thomas Edison exemplified prodigious creative achievements like a few others in history, having recorded 1093 patents over his life and giving us everything from the light bulb to the motion picture camera, and in 1901 a battery that was later used for electric cars. He wasn't only an investor, he was also a stratospheric company builder. Yup, the billionaire continues. His life is absolutely worth studying, then deconstructing in your journal so your intimacy and fluency with how he did it grows. Edison once said, being busy does not always mean real work. The object of all work is productions or accomplishment. And as you granulate the investor achievements formula, please go deep on studying his ability to focus. Edison also observed, you do something all day long, don't you? Everyone does. If you get up at a 7 o'clock, go to bed at 11. You have put in 16 good hours, and it is certain but the most men that they have been doing something all times. The only trouble is that they do it about a great many things and I do it about one. If they took the time in question and applied it in one direction to one object, they would succeed. That's on point. Observe the artist who was dressed in a black gear and this morning wearing this his standard issues combat boots. He'd saved off his trademark goatee. It goes to the point you made in Morris's about of walking up with a limited amount of cognitive bandwidth and every distraction that steal our attentions lower our chance to do masterful work because we leave attention residue residue on every divergence that we all into our workplace and life space, and if weren't not really carefully, we will end up with a digital dementia referred to on the last diagram you shared with us in Rome. I'm getting this piece in a pretty big way today. When I get back home to my studio, I am definitely going to set up my environment up so it's totally quiet, zero device. I also plan to do a big time technology detox. No social media and no cyber surfing for at least a few weeks so I get my concentration back. What I am understanding is that once I am in a clear space of silence, I should focus only on one project at a time, not spread out my creative powers and a physical energy on many. That's what I take from the addition words. Don't diffuse my genius on being pretty good at many things. When I have it in me to be a legendary by working intensely only on one thing, and I am realizing that even one interruptions when I thinking about a hot new products or next blue oceans ventures could cost me many millions of dollars or more, said the entrepreneur excitedly. When you two just said is massively important if you are serious about leveraging your talent in expressing the fullness of your inherent greatness, the billionaire affirmed as he beamed cheerfully. Edison would climb up the hill on his Menlo Park laboratory and work for hours and hours, sometimes days up days, with his team on one inventions that was the center of their inspirations. That groovy cats was a pretty gnarly dude. The billionaire then pointed to the chart on the back of the painting. I know you both need to get going, so you can get ready for the ceremony. Kindly take this gift with you, but first read what it says here on the back. So you start the process of wiring in these 10 tactics that will accelerate your progress in the 5 AM club and set your gifts, talents and powers avalanche. Rising it down and running the 2020 formula is your main move to lead your field and upgrade your personal life. These 10 celebrated habits are your amplifier. They will ensure that you go from seeing results that are linear to rewards that are exponentials. The learning model looked like this: the 10 tactics of lifelong genius, the tight bubble of total focus, the 1991 rules, the 60s 10 methods, the daily 5 concepts, the second win workout, the 2 message protocol, traffic university, the dream team technique, weekly design system, the 60-minute student, the 10 tactics lifelong genius. Under the 10 tactics of lifelong genius model, the entrepreneur and the artist read the following list of strategies along with precise explanations about what they mean and how one was to apply them. Tactic 1: the light bubble of total focus, TVTF. The insight, an addict An addiction to distractions is the death of your creative productions. Your attention to digital interruption is costing your own fortune financially, cognitively, energetically, physically, and spiritually. To have the income and impact only a few people currently have, you need to run your days like very few performers currently do. The tight bubble of total focus is metaphorical moat that you build around your assets of genius. So they not stay strong, they increase. The five primary assets that all super producers defined are mental focus, physical energy, personal willpower, original talent, and the daily time. Your bubble has a por- porous membrane that encircles it so that you decide what informations, which people, and nature of the activities that enter your orbit. Anything negative, toxic, and impure gets blocked at the gate. Essentially, this way of being in the world is your bulletproof defense systems to reject your stimuli that would decry your greatness. The implementation, the tight bubble of the total focus strategy preserves your focus as well as your primal brilliance by giving you long stretches of time free from trivial fascinations and any influences that dissolve your inspirations and deteriorate your A game. Each morning you enter this invisible bubble of your own making that is completely empty of other people. Superficial masses, spam, fake news, advertisements, silly videos, irrelevant chatting, and other form of cyber hooking that will destroy your life of monumental potential. Part of this philosophical construct is your personal mellow park, the place where, like Thomas Edison, you get lost from the world and go to generate the masterwork that will raise you to industry dominance and global eminence. The real key here is solitude for a scheduled period each day in positive environment that floods you with creative energy, happiness, and the feeling the work you are doing is for the upliftment of humanity. The spaces you inhabit shape the output you produce. These concepts can and should also be applied beyond your professional routine. So your private time is free for negativity, energy vampires, and soul hurting pursuits. Of course, tinker with the metaphorical walls of armor around your five assets of genius so you have a wonderful social life. And so you don't become a hermit. Using the TVTF is your personal life means you live your days in an alternate universe of your own joyous creations. Remember, the bubble has a porous membrane, so you can carefully choose who you allow in your private reality as well as the elements of beauty, wonder, and peace. Specific applications ideas includes selling your televisions, avoiding the news for the remainder of your days, staying out of noisy shopping malls where you buy things you don't need, unfriending energy draining people you follow on social platform, turning off all notifications while you are in a tvtf, and deleting apps with constant announcements. The tactic 2 1991 rules, the insights, doing real work versus artificial work daily with absolute consistency will give you a gargantuan competitive advantage born of mastery. Productivity of virtuoso level quality is rare, and the marketplace pays most for something that is scarce. L- Legendary achievers concentrate all their attention and effort on one core project at a time, so they harness the fullness of their cognitive capacity and their precious energy on releasing glorious products that turn their industry on their head. To to work like this, you need to install daily habit of exploiting your best professional hours of offer your finest productive results. When you show up for work, it's not the time to shop online, to gossip or check messages. It's a show time for the super producer. The implementation: for the next 90 days, schedule yourself to invest the first 90 minutes of your workday on one activity that, when completed at world class, will cause you to own your field. This 90-minute period must be completely free of any noise and interruptions. Place your device in a bag market for my 1991 periods, and they leave the bag in another room. Installing clear boundary uh, fences that block excess of temptation is a potent tactic to decrease them. Tactic 3: 60-10 methods. The insight: researchers supports that the greatest performers don't work in a linear way, working harder and longer with the hope of arriving at stronger and better results. Instead, the way elite creatives do what they do is by understanding the power of oscillations. They structure their work cycles so that they alternate bursts of deep focus and ferocious intensity of performance with period of real rest and full recovery. In other words, they work in a balance and cycle awesome output with the times of refuel their assets of genius so they don't come deplete them. Armed with the data conclusions that human beings do their most astonishing work when they are fresh and relaxed versus exhausted and stressed. Genuine pros dedicated to the glorifications of their genius operate in mode of pulsations, operating more like sprinters than marathoners. The implementation: after you have run the 1991 segment of your workday, use timer and work at your best for 60 minutes straight while sitting and or standing quietly in your tight bubble of total focus. Train yourself not to move, just concentrate and create a highest result you can possibly make. After your 60-minute productivity spirit is done, refuel for 10 minutes. Ideas for this recovery cycle include going for a quick walk in a fresh air, reading a book that will advance your leadership or personal mastery, meditating, visualizing, or listening to energizing music with headphones on, like many championships athletes do before they step onto the court, so that their brain attention shifts from the ruminations and worrying behavior of the left hemisphere into the creativity and flows of the right sections. After 10 wonderful minutes of regeneration, go back and perform your next 60 minutes work segment full of inspiration, excellence, and ingenuity. And then your next 10 minute cycle of renewal. Tactic 4: the daily 5 concepts. Insight: study shows that the most effective business leaders are at their product, productive peaks on the days when, even if they have faced some serious setbacks, they have actively engaged their mindset on the progress they have made. In so doing, they have inoculated themselves from the self-sabotaging influence of brain negativity bias. One of the great keys to traffic performance then is to train your attention on making consistent 1% wins and micro achievements throughout each hours of your workday. Small daily achievements then done consistently over time definitely do leads to stunning results. And by deliberately reflecting on the areas where you are moving ahead, you will insult your ambition, guard your confidence, and defeat the dangerous tricksters of fear. So you get amazing feats done. The implementation: during the second pocket of your victory hours, list the 5 tiny targets you wish to accomplish over the day ahead for you to feel it was one well spent. This, like so much of what you learned, is also a practice. The more you do it, the easier this habit gets, and the stronger your execution's ability around is grow. So stay with the process. After just 30 days, you will have accomplished 150 valuable victories. And after years, this strategy alone will be responsible for your achieving 1825 high values target guaranteeing that the next 12 months are the single most productive 12 months you have had yet. Tactic 5. The second win workout to do 2WW. The insight. You've now discovered the beautiful neuroscience behind daily exercise. Moving the body regularly lifts your concentration, speed up the processing potency of your brain as well as accelerating its learning capacity. Raises your energy, elevate your optimism, helps you sleep better via the production of more melatonin, and promotes longevity through the release of human growth hormone HGH, along with the lengthening of your telomeres. Telomeres keeps the ends of your chromosomes from fraying. They're like plastic caps at the tips of shoelaces. Aging shortens our telomeres, which is why they are sometimes compared to the palm fuse. The powerful point here is that it's well documented that exercise slows this shortening, helping you stay healthy longer. You should also note that the meditation, a diet rich in whole food, properly sleep quality, and intermittent fasting, which the spellbinder calls the 16-8 dividend, because you don't eat during a 16 hours fasting window and then break the fast over an 8 hours period, have all proven to protect your telomeres from degenerating, given the empirical based facts of sustain, 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 substantiating substantiating the absolutely transformating power of exercise. Why would you do only one workout a day? Why not use this regimen to increase your vitality massively, so you not only outlive your industry peers but hack aging as you enjoy an astonishing, happy, and productive life? The implementation: to execute the 2WW practice, schedule a second workout at the end of your workday to give you a second win for a great evening. You will beat the executions most people feel after work. Re energize your willpower batteries so you improve your evening choices and even find your craving for sugar in nighttime are significantly lower. One of the finest activity you could possibly do at this time is 1 hour nature walk. You will gain another block of time free from digital interruption, letting you do more deep thinking and downloading of valuable idea. You will also be rewarded with the benefits that walking within natural surroundings with sunlight and fresh air bringing to your mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set. New naturalist John Muir expressed it well when he said, "In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks." Other ideas for your 2WW includes going for the 60-minute mountain bike ride, having a long swim, or attending yoga class. In running this routine, you will also burn even more calories and speed up your metabolic rate, including reducing body fat. 2WW is a game changer. Tactic 6: the masses protocol 2MP. The insight is: studies have demonstrated that masses therapy is modality that generates significant improvements in a brain performance, mood, your ability to fight stress, and in terms of your general wellness. The benefit of the massage include a 31% reduction of cortisol, the fear hormone levels, a 31% increase of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of the motivations, a 28% elevation of serotonin, the neurochemical responsible for regulating anxiety and raising happiness, reduce muscle tensions, improve pain relief via the sending of anti-inflammations messaging to muscle cells, and elevations in the signals of those cells to make more mitochond- mitochondria. The key here is have a deep tissues massages versus simple relaxations body work. It's it needs to hurt a little for it to work well. This awesome practice also reduces the stress that causes telomeres to degrades, optimizing your body, optimizing your good health, and maximizing your lifespan. The implementations to apply the 2MP locks 290 minutes messages onto your weekly schedule, because the things that get scheduled are things that get done, and because vague plans yield vague performance, and because the smallest of applications really is better than the greatest grandest of intentions. Virtuosos brings tractions to their visions through their dedications to implementation. You might say you are busy performer and can't afford the time to get two long messages every single week. In fact, given the proven and marvelous benefit of this protocol for your mental state, cognitions, joyfulness, health, and longevity, the truth is, you can't afford not to install this habit. Yes, 290 minutes messages a week will cost a lot of money. Death will cost you more. Tactic 5, Traffic University. The insight: people who commute a total of 60 minutes to and from the work each day spend approximately 1200 days of their lives doing so. If they live an average human lifetime, that's over 3 years spent in a traffic or on a bus or in a train. And with the rise of the mega commute, that time period is only growing. Most people setting bumper to bumper are infecting themselves with the toxic news, superficial banter on the radio, and other negative stimulations that erodes productions and dissolves inner peace. People on computer train or buses often sleep, daydream, or play with their technology in a chronic state of apathy. Be different. The implementation: participating in a traffic university is all about leveraging your traveling time, whether to and from work or grocery shopping and errand running, to learn, expanding your professional prowesses and personal knowledges. Specific ideas to help you do so include listening to audiobooks and consuming valuable podcasts. The fact is, even one new idea you learn in book or online courses could make you millions or even billions of dollars, or multiply your creativity, productivity, vitality, and spirituality exponentially. There is a simple no other investments vehicle available today that will yield a higher return than the investing in your education and growth. Tactic 8, the dream team technique. The insight: professional athlete structures a full team to support their rise to best in world BIW. In this way, they are freed up to marshal their five assets of genius around the development of the expertise and the power that will cause them to become dominant at their sport. Michael Jordan wasn't his own sports doctor, and Muhammad Ali wasn't his own boxing trainer. Super producers outsource and then automate all activities except those within the realm of their mastery, allowing for purity of focus and freeing up huge amounts of time. The implementation: delegate tasks that not only are a poor use of your hours but also diminish your happiness. Ideally, restructure your entire life so you doing only the things you are great at and love to do. With such a setup, you will not only escalate in your performance because you are prioritizing around just a few things, but you will enjoy significantly more personal freedom and serenity, as well as because you have people on your dream team who are leaders at what they do. Your rise so legendary will be swifter since you have great people in your corner. Specific member of your dream team could include a fitness trainer who you work with regularly, a nutritionist, a nutritionist, a, a nutritionist, a nutritionist, a massage therapist, a financial coach of 45 your fortune, a lead, a relationship advisors to help you maintain rich bonds with the important people in your life, and a spiritual counselor to assist you in staying grounded on the eternal laws of the life well lived. Tactic 9, the weekly design system, WDS, the insight. You now know that things that get scheduled are the things that get done. Designing a week without a granulate, granulated games plan for the 7 days ahead of you is like attempting to summit Mont Blanc without a climb strategy, or hiking into the deep wood without a compass. Yes, spontaneity and room for unexpected miracles are exponentially important. Yet, this doesn't mean you shouldn't show personal responsibility and human maturity by habituating a practice to architect a thoughtful and clear weekly script that amplifies your energy, organizes your choices, and ensure balances. The implementation, carve out then ritualize 30 minutes easier each Sunday morning to create your blueprint for a beautiful week. Start the process writing a story in your journal about the highlights from the 7 days you just lived. Then record your lessons learned and optimizations from the making the coming weeks even better. Next, on a large piece of paper that has each running from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. on it. Note down all your commitments. The key here is to list more than your business meetings and work projects. Set clear periods of your victory hours, your 90-91 sessions, your 60-10 cycles, and your second win workout, as well as time for your loved ones, blocks for your portfolio of passions, and segments for your errands. Doing this weekly will build extraordinary focus into your days, yield marvelous momentum, enhance your productivity significantly, and improve your life balance noticeably. Tactic 10, the 60-minute student, the insight. The more you know, the better you will do. Legendary leaders all have boundless curiosity and limitless appetite to grow into their greatness self. The education truly is inoculation against disruptions. Peak producers are lifetime learner. Be one of the formidable few who reclaim their heroism, cultivate their craft, and materialize their genius by getting back to being a world class student. The implementation, for at least 60 minutes a day, study, do whatever it takes to fireproof your commitment to relentless growth. Learning daily will raise your acumen, deepen your wisdom, and incite a blazing fire that stroke your granular grandeur. You will become a widely tinker and an outright superstar. A specific tactic tactic for your 60 minutes include reading every good books you can get your hands on, reviewing your journals notes, working through an online program, talking with a mentor, and watching skills building videos. As you capitalize on your brightest gifts and highest powers, you will become not only a bigger person but even more indispensable one. You will be a so exhausted at what you do that your organization and marketplace will not be able to operate without you. You will evolve into exponential valuable leaders in your field, and you will be able to deliver remarkable streams of valuable to the teammates, customers, communities you are blessed to serve. The results will be generous rewards returned to you in the form of income, imminence, and the psychic joy that comes with being a noble person, doing world class work and fulfilling the mighty purpose. I have another present to honor you too as we go off to your weddings, exclaimed the billionaire. It's a verse I memorized for my Vanessa. He was clutching her pictures as he said this. Every Valentine's Day, it was our tradition for me to present her with 108 red roses. some terrific chocolates, and one other things over dinner at our favorite restaurant. After that, I'd get down on the knees and recite the poem. What was the other thing? Asked the artist. The billionaire looked the little embraced. His gaze fell to the floor on the pent hall. Lingries was his one word's answer, spoken with a wink. He then stood up on the sparkling oak dining table that sat in one section of the gigantic hotel suite like a child playing hide and go seek. He covered each of his eyes with a hand. Next, he recited an old poem by Spencer's Missile Free with thunderous passion. Tis the human touch in this world that counts. The touch of your hand and mine, which means far more of the fainting heart than shelter and bread and wine. For shelter is gone when the night is ours, and breed lasts only a day. But the touch of hands and the sound of the voice sing on in the soul always. That's a beautiful, said the artist visually moved. It was a growing clear to Mr. Raleigh that through his bohemian painter had rough edges, he had a soft heart, and through it might appear to an ununiformed onlooker that artist was a more passive half of the romantic couple. This was in fact untrue. The reality was that the depth of his great love for the entrepreneur overrode the mature needs of his ego. All his kindness wasn't to be confused with weakness. The artist was a powerful man. I have written a poem myself, the artist added. It's for you, my beloved. Read it to me, please, said the entrepreneur gracefully as he his collar. Fixed his collar. Okay, said the artist with a gulp. It's called May We Never Say Goodbye, and it goes like this. May we never say goodbye, a chance encounter and that very first glance. Your beauty moved me and your strength calmed me. Life unexpected windows of opportunities sent by the knowing intelligence, asking us to do our part by taking a risk. Only those who dare will win. Only those will willing to face rejections will find their salvations. Only those who reclaim their power will experience a res- resurrections. I have never known true love. I have never believed in double rainbow. Romantic walk and holding hands at sunrise. I never imagined that first kiss would lead to this. When you fall, I will support you. Should, should you be scared, I will hold you. When you are in a doubt, I will stand by you. When you enjoy success, I will raise my glass to you. When you feel like living, I won't let you go. I think you constantly, I feel you deep within me. I am not sure what I am done to deserve you, but my dream now is grow old with you. May we never say goodbye. The artist went down on knee and kissed the hand of his soon to be a bride. She blushed vividly and was profoundly touched. One could then hear loud crying. The two students handed their mentor a tissues so he could dry his eyes. Now at this point, chapter 15 has been ended. Please like the video and subscribe the channel for the future new content. Thank you.